This is our show, so far unnamed, about video games, where if we actually talk about video games, I'm going to be disappointed that we didn't derail it more awesomely. So let's introduce ourselves and our favorite 1995 video game system. Start over here!
Next.
95,
Right.
I guess N64. I'm Craig, by the way. I played the piano earlier in some other podcast.
N64 Craig. Who we got here?
I'm Mike. 95 SNES. Too late.
SNES Craig.
that's-
I'm gonna go with Atari 2600. Was always the best. Still the best in '95. I'm Keith. Right here.
Picard.
His name's Picard. What? Game Boy? What are you into?
I don't think I had a system back then.
Well, no, I think it was masturbating earlier.
Sega CD. Yeah, can't forget that. Right here. Who we got?
Addison, I guess either Jaguar or Neo Geo.
What? Wait. First, we gotta talk about this. Is this just you're just saying that as a joke to be funny, or is that seriously? Okay, we can move on then.
I knew a guy in high school who had a 3DO, and the way he used to describe it, he's like, "Man, the 3DO is so hardcore. You got to put gas in it and just like vroom." And I don't know if anybody ever played a 3DO, but that was horse shit. And who's our last guy?
Brad and I like to play the Nintendo Entertainment System.
It's still the best. It's
Yeah,
true,
an
except the
advanced
Atari
one,
2600. But we're all children of video games, right? So all of our conception of the world is basically filtered through video games. So that's Scott Pilgrim shit. That was not some kind of made-up bullshit. That's really how it is.
Well, last time I listened to a bunch of guys talking about gaming, all they talked about was shitting their pants.
Yeah,
We'll get to
exactly.
It's a good show.
I do have a story about shitting my pants.
Oh, I do
All right.
too. But I knew you first.
Well, I figured you
I
would.
was living in Queens, New York, and I went to the. They always have like little bodegas and shit in New York because they don't have room for big stores. Like, there's no such thing as a big store. It's all little tiny places that overcharge you for everything, and it's ridiculous. And I might have been going to buy. I don't think it was toilet paper, but it was like shampoo or something. You know, something vaguely related to self-cleanliness or whatever. But this was like, you know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, so I was like late 20s. And I was just walking along, minding my own business, block and a half to this bodega. Almost there. I was like at the corner. It was right across the street. And I don't know what happened, but I pooped a little bit in my pants. And then that's the thing, is like I'm right there. I'm like, all I gotta do is cross the street, hop in there, grab the shampoo or whatever. Maybe no one will notice. But I decided it is only a block and a half back to my house, yeah. So I went all the way back home, got in the shower, changed out my clothes, all of that. That's my story.
How old were you now?
I was like 28, 29, something like
Well,
that.
that's not shitting your pants. That's farting with benefits.
Yeah, it is. It was the shart. But I mean, there was definitely poop though. Like, it wasn't just. So Mike.
Yes, I was in Minneapolis on work, for work, and I went drinking with the night before with my friend,
Nah.
and I just got real sick. And then the next day, all day at work, I had to keep like getting up to discreetly vomit in the bathroom because being on client site maybe is not the best idea. And so yeah, I was so sick, and then I dumped myself a little bit, just a bit. But unfortunately, this happened on the way to the airport. So I didn't really have a chance to clean myself up, and I was sitting in my own filth for 2 hours on the way back to Toronto. So, and then I finally got home.
Do you think anyone noticed on the plane?
Oh, absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind that I would be surprised if everyone didn't know. So then I get home, and then I was just like, I get home, and my wife was there, and I was just like,
At that point,
I gotta
you're
have a shower.
Oh, I was gonna
And
say,
she was like,
just roll
why?
with it.
Why? Like, I'm sure she thought I was like banging a prostitute on the airplane or something. I was like, don't ask questions. I'm going to have a shower. So I went in and I had a shower and cleaned out my asshole good. And then I felt better. I still haven't told her or anyone else. Now I decided to tell.
So it can never leave this room.
Yeah.
It might be on the internet.
Yeah, it might. Wait, this is going on the internet?
Are you gonna tell her about our unnamed podcast? What should we call this? Puck Nuts? I like
Yes.
that name. Yeah.
Seconded.
Vinyl Countdown.
Yeah, see, that was the name I came up with earlier
Doesn't
for like
really
a
fit.
music show. The Vinyl Countdown. That is the fucking most brilliant thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Exactly, right? It's in.
Insanely proud of it.
This show is called that now. Yeah, I really don't think there's any shit story that's not good. Even the sort of most half-assed ones. They're still funny.
What kind of crack was that?
They're all good.
Today, actually,
no,
if I can
honestly.
go.
Absolutely.
There we go. Today.
N64 Craig.
I didn't shit my pants today, but I had to take a dump at work at the office and have those, the automatic toilets that flush like when you stand up and it has the optical sensor or whatever to know when you stand up and it flushes.
Right.
But I'm wearing a black shirt, and apparently that fucks with the optical sensor because I was just sitting there and it flushed like 5 times as I was sitting there, so my ass was completely soaked by the end. I'm just
Feels
flushing.
like a bidet.
I have to say, I kind of like that. Like, you know when you're taking a dump and then it like bloop and it drops in the toilet and then it splashes water up inside your ass? You're kind of like, thank you.
But yeah, that
You
is
started the
the,
whole
said
cleaning
that.
process
I said
for
that.
me.
That was-
I'm getting tired of that shit. Like, especially when it won't flush.
Oh, and then when I was done and I got up, it wouldn't flush.
Right, well
Yeah.
then if you need a halfway through kind of flush, and then I'm like standing there with my fucking foot on the thing, and then pulling my foot away, and it's like, flush, piece of shit, just flush for me.
There's so many ones that aren't attended.
I don't have any piss or shit story. Well, I saw a at the Dundas subway station when I left Craig's house. I saw a guy pull down his pants and shit by the token machine the other day.
Wait, by my house?
Yeah.
But see, the Vancouver homeless, they shit in their pants and let it come out the pant leg, so it's still a step up from that.
Like he was concentrating. I didn't know that he was gonna shit. I thought he was changing at first.
He thought
Because
he was
pulled
making
it down-
himself invisible.
Well, no, he pulled it down really slow and he just shit.
Yeah, this is your old brainchild, this whole thing. This podcast is a little bit your fault.
And that's why I like Super Mario Brothers too.
Were you having something?
I was gonna say, yeah, I was walking down Queen Street one day, and then there was this guy who was clearly homeless, and he was just standing there with his hands on his hips, like the Superman pose, and then his dick out, and he was just pissing like on the sidewalk, right?
I've seen that.
And then some lady with her little baby carriage pulled up right beside him and decided, like, she parked the carriage right beside like where he was pissing, which to me was weird. It was just like there's
Child
definitely
endangerment.
like piss residue splashing around, and she decided at that point to stop and like tell this guy that he was not being very nice.
Oh,
Like
this
as
sounds
if like
like the
he was
beginning
gonna
of a
listen to
German
reason.
porn.
Like he was gonna be like, I apologize, man, for my indiscretion.
We have a soon-to-be mom in the crowd. Would you confront a homeless man who's peeing about his...
If he was peeing on me, I'd take offense.
lot of problems.
But you wouldn't move away? Because, I mean, you were there first. You know, why should I move?
You wouldn't just.
Kinda. Like,
That's balls. I would just get the fuck out of there.
I would say something. I probably would.
Yeah?
If I was pregnant still, I wouldn't care. If I had a kid, yeah, I might. But on the other side, they gotta learn somehow.
That's true. I mean, maybe that's
Like-
the thing. Maybe just no one ever told him. Maybe you just never know. But see, that's where he's doing the wrong thing with the Superman pose, because I learned from peeing all over Manhattan, because they have no bathrooms. As long as you just don't look like you're peeing, no one knows you're peeing. They don't
He wasn't ducking. He was just on the sidewalk where everyone was walking.
Proud penis, though. Like if it can.
No, it was nothing to me. Of course, you gotta look. You gotta take a look. You gotta see what he's packing. You gotta see if he measures up or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, it is extra
was it
tragic.
cold out though?
But you weren't whipping out to compare.
I was tempted, but I was afraid of some kind of bacteria jumping.
Arrest.
Yeah, there's a story, even just like Vancouver in general is a nice city, but its crappy part of town is way crappier than anything here. It's like the worst. And my friend Erin has this famous story where she saw this guy when she first moved to Vancouver stumbling down Hastings with a needle still hanging out of his arm.
Oh, God.
I was like,
Horrifying.
I know, right? So like,
Like a
I've been,
zombie.
anytime like some bad stuff goes down in Toronto, I'm like, it could be worse. Like, you know, I feel like.
Well, what's the worst place in Toronto? I think you should.
Right
Yeah,
here,
well,
actually.
yesterday I was just wandering around like east of here, yeah, like where the Fillmore and stuff is, and it was like a cartoon. There was a guy passed out on his front steps next to an empty bottle, and then there was another dude on like an old filthy mattress just twitching, and it's like a set piece from a video game. It's like something in a Silent Hill fucking background.
Have you ever been to Hamilton?
Hamilton's not nice. Also, I did see someone sitting. This is Hamilton. This is very close to here. This isn't like, southern U.S. I saw someone sitting on their front porch with a shotgun. I was like, what country
Was
is
it
this?
rocking chair?
People do
Yeah.
coke off their babies in Hamilton.
Is that a fact, or you just like,
No, it's a fact.
holy balls?
Why? How would that be? How would that be better than doing it off a table?
I think it's fair to say
I'm
that
just
might
saying.
be better. The neighborhood I grew up in Fredericton, there's only one strip club in my hometown, and it's a block and a half from my house.
Fredericton's soft compared to Hamilton.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But
Have you been to
still.
Winnipeg though?
No.
Winnipeg is the
No.
worst city in this entire country, maybe
I
this
don't think so.
continent.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Come on, Osborne Village, it's awesome.
No, no, it's
One
not.
block of hipsterism in downtown Winnipeg is amazing.
Nah.
Regina, haven't you?
Okay.
I have,
Moose Jaw and
but
Yellowknife,
it's
and
even
that's it.
it's not as bad as Winnipeg. Winnipeg is like the crime capital of Canada, and it has nothing there, and it's cold all the time, all throughout the entire year. It's
Or
freezing.
like
So
normal
in
day.
Toronto, people are pissing on the street. In Hamilton, people doing coke off of babies
in the street.
And Winnipeg is very cold. You're right. Winnipeg is awful. That's
I was playing this video game where everyone was shitting themselves.
There's a game. No, there's a game called Don't Shit Your Pants.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
it's like a text game, yeah, with crude graphics, and the whole idea is to not shit your pants. And there's like a few different ways to do it, and it's tricky because when I finally figured out how to get in the bathroom, and I sat on the toilet and I typed, okay, shit pants, he neglected to pull his pants down because I didn't tell him to, and I shit my pants. I was like, ah, you got me.
Have you guys tried committing suicide in that game?
Yeah, how does that work?
Oh, in the game, yeah.
If you type in commit suicide as one of the commands, you'll commit suicide because technically if you're dead,
you didn't shit your pants.
But with the character's dying breath,
oh, he shits his pants right before he
squeeze
dies.
out a load.
Wow. See,
Nice.
that game is a thinking game. You wouldn't think so, right? But yeah, you gotta put some
It's a
thought into it.
strategy.
So, Super Mario 2, Craig, you brought that up. What were your thoughts? Because a lot of people shit on Mario 2, but come on, that's a really good game.
It's the most original of them.
No, it was
Well, that's how that story.
in Japan. It was
Doki Doki Panic or something.
yeah, it was based on a TV show from Japan with this Arabian family. That's why there's the flying carpets and stuff. Yeah, so they reskinned it as a Mario game and released it here. But it just bugs me when people are like, Mario 2, that one sucks, because everyone loved it when it came out. I listened to a lot of retro video game podcasts, and yeah, it's like they've retroactively
no
decided
damn
that
sense.
it wasn't a good game. And it was,
I kind of don't like it.
Throw turnips at people? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
It's
that?
gardening and Mario.
I was throwing a
but-
turnip at you.
The
and I was
mask,
gonna say
the
something,
mask
how that
chasing
feels.
is good. The mask chasing was good. But why can Princess glide and none of the other characters
She was wearing
can
a
glide?
dress and it was like a parachute.
No, but that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
But like Luigi
The
could
rest
do
of it's
that like
perfect
floppy
sense.
leg thing.
Whatever, they could make something up to make the other characters glide. They could pull out an umbrella or some shit.
That's
I
why
don't
you
know.
picked the princess so that you could glide.
But
really,
While
okay,
it was a good
no.
game, can we agree that it's probably one of the worst Mario games?
I don't know, the mask chasing was pretty epic.
Because I would argue that.
They're
The
like-
Mario games
but they
are
are
so
literally
good.
the best games ever made.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, like I feel
Right.
like that's a good trick question.
But
almost.
are people saying it's a terrible
they're
game
like
or
Lost-
just not that
what was it
good for
called?
Mario?
It's
Japan
I feel
Mario
like
2.
they made the right choice because if they had released Lost Levels as our Mario 2 like they did in Japan, like it's
Mario
just
2
too
really
hard.
would have sucked.
Yeah, it was like way too brutal. That game was insane.
The later Marios weren't that good in my opinion either.
That's because
The
you're an asshole.
SNES? I don't like the SNES Marios.
And your opinion has been invalidated.
I don't like it.
I think Mario World's the best. Like that's the eternal
Yeah.
debate: is Mario 3
Oh.
versus Mario World?
Mario World for
I
me.
gotta go with World. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I gotta
good.
go with 3 over here.
But you know what bothers me about
what's that?
3 is that Tanuki suit. It was so
Tanuki
useless. It didn't
It was
really
awesome,
do
but then
anything.
you
As opposed to what, the
couldn't
frog
use it.
suit? Like, it
Was that the
better than
stone
that.
suit or whatever?
Yeah, you turn into a
You turn
statue.
to stone and you just stand there. It's
That's
like,
just-
No, if you
what's the
drop
point?
on an
That's
enemy,
so-
it'll kill them, right?
Okay, so like here's the question: If
Yeah,
you
but
have
you could-
superhero power, what would you rather have, flight or being able to turn the stone at random?
Or both. 'cause
Tycoon
the
Mario
Tanuki
could do
suit did
both.
Yeah.
Or a gliding dress with no powers at all.
She could glide.
That's it. Well, if you
not
don't
to
take
win
the
it.
gliding dress, then you have no powers.
Superpowers aside, I prefer not to wear a dress.
Exactly. That's why I didn't want to
Personal
be here.
preference.
But you got to glide.
And
But
that's
that's
where
the
you
thing.
and me are different.
I used to
Could my
always
superpower be looking great in a dress?
Yeah.
I used to always play as Princess initially, but then yeah, I feel like I grew up a bit when I started playing as Luigi. Because if you can control his crazy jumping, he can do stuff you can
he
barely
slides
imagine.
too much. He slides way
But he can
too
jump
much.
as far as the princess if you do it right, and he can like do crazy high jumps like.
I always used to use Luigi. I can't. He's too hard to use now. I'm too old.
And sometimes Toad is neat because he's so fast, but Mario was the shittiest character in that game.
Yeah, like, considering the game was called Mario, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, Mario's kind of
pretty
a
fucked.
lame duck.
I always hated the argument that Toad was so great because he could lift up plants faster. It's like,
Could
is
he?
that really that
I didn't even
helpful?
know that.
He lifts plants up slightly faster.
I didn't
He
even know
lifts
that.
up plants a fair amount faster. You know, that's useful in subspace when you're getting coins.
What was that 3D Game Boy that gave you cancer? The red
Virtual
one?
Boy?
Yes. That was. that
Did
was
Virtual
the
Boy
best.
actually give cancer? Is that
Cancer Boy.
I don't think that's
I think it just
confirmed.
made you
Can we,
blind.
if this is going on the internet, can we say this is
Have you heard? Do you know anybody who still owns a Virtual Boy?
I don't know anyone who
There's a
ever
store
owned a
on
virtual
Spadina
boy.
that has one or two.
Yeah, but do you
Oh,
know
shit,
any
I'll buy one.
person who has a Virtual Boy right now?
Oh, not personally, no.
I do, but they died
I
of
know
cancer.
of
Yeah.
people.
That's
So
what
we
I'm
should probably wrap up. Any final thoughts? Anyone got about our various topics
I never
today?
played any of these Mario games you guys were talking about, so.
Who's mom?
Oh, it's hold on,
Oh,
just give me a
lying
second. It's
bastard.
he's a plumber, okay?
yeah, bring us up to speed.
And he goes. The princess was captured by a dragon, and he has to go to the Mushroom Kingdom, which is I think
Alright.
down a pipe. Anyway, so you're up to speed now.
There you go.
He found a monkey.
Yeah.
Yes, he did originally.
So you can understand why they're so beloved. I mean, it just
Yes,
makes sense.
Turtles.
All right, do we have a name for this show? Oh yeah, the vinyl All right.
Vinyl Countdown.
Thanks for joining us on our premiere episode of the Vinyl Countdown. Yeah.